Welcome back to another NHL 26 video. Now, the question today is what would happen if the NHL got restarted with a fantasy draft? And don't worry, I'm here to answer that question. So, we're going to be choosing a random team here. It is going to be the Montreal Canadiens, and we're going to be continuing, and we're going to be turning on fantasy draft. We're going to keep salary cap on, though, which will make it interesting. Owner mode off. We don't need that. Fantasy draft on. Computer trade sure. Morale off. Fogware off. Head coach can do that. Yep. All that. So we're going to see who is going to be the first pick in the NHL 2025, 2026 entry draft here. We have the Montreal Canadiens. Start career, keep salary cap on. Let's see who gets the first overall pick. Let's see where everyone goes. It is the Ottawa Senators that get first overall pick, and then the Vancouver Canucks. So we'll see how this ends up going. It isn't a snake draft, so Ottawa's going to be getting the top player in every round. But let's start the draft here and see who goes number one. Okay, it was a little bit quicker, but the first overall pick was none other than Connor McDavid, 97 overall. Quinn Hughes goes number two to the Nashville Predators. Cale Makar, 95 for Hughes. Leon Draisaitl, 96 overall, going to Tampa. Austin Matthews heading over to Carolina. Connor Bedard, a youngster, medium franchise potential, taken at 6th overall by Seattle. Kirill Kaprizov, Kirill the Thrill. We got Jack Eichel going in 8th, Nikita Kucherov 9th, and rounding out the top 10, we got David Pastrnak. Nathan MacKinnon falls to number 11 at 96 overall with the St. Louis Blues. Alex Barkov to Colorado. Jack Hughes of the first Hughes brothers to the Edmonton Oilers. Sam Reinhart to Calgary. Matt Tkachuk going to the Washington Capitals. No duplicate players so far, which is pretty impressive here. We got Rowinski going to Florida, Mikko Rantanen going to the Jets, Rasmus Dahlin over to Philly, Kyle Connor to the Mammoth, and then we have Braden Point going to the Detroit Red Wings. I'm going to sim my pick here. Sim to user pick. We'll just sim this, and we're going to see who rounds out the first round here. So we have the Montreal Canadiens selecting William Nylander. Connor Hellebuyck, first goalie off the board, goes to the San Jose Sharks, followed up by Mitch Marner and Artemi Panarin going back to the Chicago Blackhawks. The Toronto Maple Leafs getting that stud defenseman they've always wanted in Victor Hedman, and Matvei Michkov, the second young player to go early, is going to be going to the Pittsburgh Penguins. Heiskanen over to the Buffalo Sabres, and Macklin Celebrini goes a little bit lower than Mishkov, but going to the Rangers. The Islanders get Vasilevsky. Jasper Brett rounding out the first round with a 91 overall to the Columbus Blue Jackets. The Devils get the goaltender they want with Shesterkin, and Jake Sanderson rounds out the first round with the Vancouver Canucks going at pick number 32. Round number 2, who else? We got Timmy Stu, his teammate, going. Oh, it is a snake draft. My apologies. So Timmy Stu and Jake Sanderson are staying together. I'll do just the remainder of this round, and then we'll go and check out all of the different rounds. Demidov, Scheifele, Hudson, Cooley, all the young players going in the second round. Sidney Crosby, Captain Canada, going to play for the Canadian team, the Toronto Maple Leafs. Lucas Raymond, Gunter McElvoy. My pick does not matter, but let's go take a look. Roman Josi, Nikos, Ovechkin still on the board. Adam Fox, Slavin, Duchesne, lots of different good options. Tage Thompson. And if we're sorting this by potential here, did I miss it? I think I probably missed it. Potential. I don't see any potential, but I assume who would they take here? Maybe Nekis, 26 years old. Natchez, 26. We could go Nick Suzuki. Going back to the Montreal Canadiens. Welcome to the organization, kid. But we're going to sim the rest of the draft here. We're going to simulate 1 year, see what team's the best, see who's going to win the Stanley Cup. But according to NHL 26, if the NHL was redone here. So let's see the teams here by round. We're going to check out the second round now. So after that, Brady Tkachuk goes to the Mammoth. You got Tage Thompson. I'm not going to go over every team, but I'll kind of highlight some of the players that I see. Roman Yossi to Colorado, Hagel, Adam Fox going to Minnesota, Cole Caulfield going to Seattle, Aho to Tampa, Slavin to the Ottawa Senators. Moving on to the third round where they had back-to-back picks, it's Clayton Keller, Shea Theodore going back to the Vegas Golden Knights, Sergachev going back to the Tampa Bay Lightning. We got Evan Bouchard, Devon Tays going here, Dylan Larkin to Brinkat going to Montreal. We got Rasmus Anderson to Florida, Leo Carlson going to the Edmonton Oilers, Protest going to Dallas, Slavkovsky going to the Leafs, Brock Faber going to the Islanders, Ehlers, Luke Hughes going to the Vancouver Canucks this time instead of Quinn Hughes. So the Hughes brothers switch positions there. Matty Berners, Matty Nyes, Travis Konechny, Shane Wright goes pretty early, Marco Rossi, Mark Stone, Lafreniere, Dustin Wolf, Aaron Ekblad going in this round, Doug Hamilton, Ovechkin falls to the fourth round and goes to the Tampa Bay Lightning, which is pretty cool. The fifth round, Sam Bennett goes. We got Mackenzie Blackwood. We got, who else here? We got Jake Wallman, Troy Terry, Edvinson, Keandre Miller, Schaefer, first round pick this year, going to the Toronto Maple Leafs, who are looking to be a pretty good team. Linus Olmark, this sixth round, Logan Thompson, Drake Batherson going in this round, Dylan Cousins, we got Anze Kopitar, Roenick, who else do we have here? Thomas Hurdle, Brad Marchand, Spencer Knight, Zach Hyman going to the Tampa Bay Lightning. The seventh round, John Carlson, Josh Norris, Matthew Barzal falls all the way to the seventh round to the LA Kings, which is crazy. Philip Deneau, Nugie Hopkins. We got the Hampus Lindholm, Ryan Leonards. Who else do we have here? Pierre-Luc Dubois going to Dallas. Eric Carlson going to the New Jersey Devils. We got the Islanders taking Ryan McLeod here. Michael Misa going to the Buffalo Sabres. Tom Wilson off the board as well. We have Capo Caco, Tyler Seguin going in this round. Frank Nazar in the eighth round is a good value. Zibanejad going back to the Ottawa Senators. The ninth round, Darnell Nurse highlighting this round. We got John Gibson going back to the Anaheim Ducks. Elias Lindholm, Casey Middlestat, Matt Savoie going to Montreal, Ridley Gregg to Vancouver, Jonathan Huberdeau to the Toronto Maple Leafs, who I think is looking pretty good. Trevor Zegras to Chicago. 10th round, we got Steven Stamkos going in the 10th round. A couple years ago, you would have never imagined this, but he's going to the Detroit Red Wings. Shane Pinto. We have Brian Rust, Patty Kane going this round. Jack Quinn to the Seattle Kraken. Gabriel Landeskog going to Vegas. The 11th round sees Aiden Hill going to Ottawa. You got Alexiak going to the Anaheim Mighty Ducks. We got Artem Zub, Dylan DeMello, and a little bit of depth players now coming out. 12th round. We're going to see if we see anyone. Zetterlund. I just always say the Sens guy. Sorry, just big Sens guy. We got Samsonov going back to the Washington Capitals. We have Nick Robertson going to the Ottawa Senators. Carter Yamanchuk, Joel Farabee, Chris Letang going to the Ducks as well. We have Turcotte going to the Nashville Predators in this round. Peyton Krebs to the Boston Bruins. And I think I'll just go through this. I saw Tejja Ginla. We have Taylor Hall going this round. Any big names coming out right away here is Tony D'Angelo going over to the Boston Bruins. The 16th round, we got Marcus Foligno going. We got B. Berard. I almost thought that was Bedard. I thought there was no chance. The San Jose Sharks get Arbor Jackeye. The 17th round, here we go. Kind of go through the rest of these pretty quickly, but Burakovsky going in 18th round, which is pretty good value. Verana in the 19th round. We got in the 20th round, Leo Carlson, is that? Maybe. Probably not. Jordan Stahl, Sundqvist, Jensen, and then we're going to get down to the depth players. Let's see who went the last round. With the 32nd round, we got Florian Jackeye back to the Montreal Canadiens. Brannon, I don't recognize too many of these names here if I'm being honest. But that's going to be the way it all shakes out. I'm going to go through each team pretty quickly, and then we're going to do a full season sim to see who NHL thinks is going to be the best team once I got all these navigation things here. I haven't actually played this game at all, so we're going to be finding out how to do this together, but I believe it's just going to be... Let's start by looking at the free agents. Who will not be in the NHL? Brent Burns, poor guy, Luke Shen, Tyler Myers, Lars Eller, Nick Leddy, Ben Sherratt, Jordan Eberle. That's unfortunate. Foligno, Jeff Skinner, David Perron, Sealer, Matt Dumba. So a lot of good players that are in the NHL right now. Jonathan Toews doesn't get a contract, but definitely a lot of players here that could be and brought into another contract opportunity. So continuing off here, we're going to go into edit lines, view lines. There we go. And we're going to start with the Anaheim Ducks, who I did mention look pretty good. We got Brad Marchand, Jack Eichel, Patty Kane, Dylan Strome, Fiala. This is a deep team. Holy. I'm not going to go through the goalies, but this team... So team to beat right now is the Anaheim Ducks. We'll see if anyone can beat them. I still think the team to beat is the Anaheim Ducks. I don't know how they got so good, and this is the team that the Boston Bruins have, which it's not a terrible team, but Larkin, Pastrnak, Nugent Hopkins lead the way. The Buffalo Sabres, so still Anaheim in my opinion. They got a 69 overall. How do they have a 69 overall? And then Heiskanen, Owen Power. That's a pretty good 1-2 punch. The Calgary Flames, a couple different X factors. Pretty good defensive core there. How's their offense? They look like they can be a pretty good team. A lot of mid-80s. I'm still going to go with the Anaheim Ducks. The Carolina Hurricanes, Zuccarello, Austin Matthews. Seth Jarvis goes back to Carolina. That's a cool story. Same with Teuvo Teravainen, where I believe he started his career, I want to say, or at one point was part of the Carolina Hurricanes. So not a bad team there. Chicago gets Artemi Panarin back. Got JT as their first-line center. This is a pretty deep team as well. And then on the back end, not as pretty there, but Issa Lindell leading the way. The Colorado Avalanche have a sick back end. Holy. Yossi Ekholm, Lindholm, and Pelech. And then on their forward core, Forsberg, Barkov, Hurdle, Coleman, Jack McBain. I mean, a pretty good center core, but definitely more of a defensive team, which isn't a bad thing. The Columbus Blue Jackets, they're led by Jasper Bratt, Mark Scheifele, Svechnikov, JT Miller, Pajot, Cam Fowler. Kind of just a really good all-around team. Nothing really stands out. Defensively on the Dallas Stars, not too bad. That's where Mitch Marner ends up, who is definitely going to need to carry the offensive load. But other than that, a pretty balanced team, I would say. Pierre-Luc Dubois, Dylan Gunter. We got the Detroit Red Wings. Robertson, Point, Stone, nasty first line. Stamkos, Kopitar, Sagan. A little bit of vet presence on that second line. And then Matt Rempe playing that third line. Or fourth line, sorry. Defenseman. A couple X factors. Morgan Riley actually playing the third line, which is surprising there. The Edmonton Oilers, they get back Wallman. That's about it on their team in the back end. Jack Hughes, Brandon Hagel. So definitely a team that's got probably a little bit worse from this fantasy draft. The Florida Panthers, they've got some room for improvement, we could say. They probably have a good goaltender. Rowinski and Rasmus Anderson, Vinny Dunn, Gosper. They have 4 really good defensemen, but offensively, they've seen better days. We'll put it that way. Great first line for Alec, Kaprizov, Heischer, Barzell, Hedel. So not too bad there. Defensively, Travis Samheim, not going to be one of the stronger teams. Adam Fox on Minnesota with Shea. And then on the offensive side, they got Nikita Kucherov, who was, I believe, top 15 pick in the fantasy draft. But outside of that first line, it's looking a little bleak there. Sorry, Minnesota fans. Moving on to Nashville. Sean Couturier, Nikas, Marchenko, Besser. This is a sneaky team. They're not great, but they're not terrible. Oh, yeah, this is a sneaky team. Their top 4 defensemen are very good here as well. And then you're led with Quinn Hughes, who went 2nd overall in the draft. We got the Nashville, just kidding, New Jersey Devils, who have, again, very good defensemen. Offensively, okay, this could be a team that competes. I still think the Anaheim Ducks are the best team, but the New Jersey Devils, they're a team not to sleep on, I think. The New York Islanders, a team to sleep on. A lot of kind of defensive-minded players here, it looks like, in the back end. Yeah, they might finish bottom of the barrel here, unfortunately for them. The Rangers, top 2 defensemen looking good. Bottom 4, mediocre. Jack Thompson's probably a little too high in that roster, if you ask me. And then offensively, okay. So offensively, they got some guys who could score. Cooley, Celebrini, good young core there with Kempe, who's only 29, Batherson, O'Reilly. So not a terrible team there. The Ottawa Senators, they're looking good just because they got Connor McDavid. You got Connor McDavid, Sam Bennett, so they also had the first round pick, Clayton Keller. So their team actually, Ottawa's not going to be bad just because of that Connor McDavid pick. And defensively, Slavin, who's going to keep the puck out of the net. Dougie, not a bad team for the Ottawa Senators. I still think Anaheim may be the better team. We got Dahlin, Jonas Brodin. It's definitely pretty close. Here we got Tage Thompson, Troy Terry. Another pretty good team here. Just keeping it flowing here. We got Pittsburgh. Anyone to talk about here? Tom Wilson, Mishkov, McTavish, defensively, Forsling. Who else do we got here? The San Jose Sharks. They got depth down the middle, but other than that, okay, the goaltending, the defensemen are again pretty good, but every team's going to be in your mid 80s, I think. Connor Bedard unfortunately stays on a pretty bad team, but he gets reunited with his teammate Frank Nazar. Defensively, he gets Evan Bouchard, Chikrin, and Bowen Byram. Moving on to the St. Louis Blues, Nathan McKinnon, who I believe went 11th. I might be wrong, but Nathan McKinnon, kind of the only player that's a real offensive threat on that team, but he gets reunited with Devon Toews, so that's good for story for him. The Tampa Bay Lightning, again, as mentioned, get Sergachev back, and then they have Ovi, Draisaitl, and Zach Hyman. What an interesting first line. Aho, Verhage, Marchessault. So not a bad team on Tampa, but so Toronto I thought was good when I looked at a couple picks. So Crosby, Slavkovsky, maybe I was wrong because they do not look good at all, but they got Crosby, so you never know what can happen with Sidney Crosby. And then defensively, they got Victor Hedman as well. The Utah Mammoth defensively looks like the worst core that you can get, but offensively, they got some players who can score goals. So these guys are going to have to score a lot of goals. Kyle Connor, Brady Tkachuk, Stankoven, Pedersen, Kako. I think that might be one of the worst teams, unfortunately. The Vancouver Canucks Ehlers, Timmy Stew, Eriksson Ek. We got DeBrusque, and then defensively, Sanderson. Just kind of highlighted by two of Ottawa's best players, and that's really it. They also have Ridley Gregg. I saw that. Dylan Holloway, Lundell. A lot of mid-80 players on this team here. Cale Makar and Shea Theodore is a nasty one too. Washington Capitals, Sider, Anderson, and then Matty Tkachuk, cover boy of the game. And then finally, last but not least, the Winnipeg Jets, Connor McMichael, Rasmus Dahlin, just kidding, Mikhail Rantanen is what I meant to say. Patrick Laine, Robert Thomas, and then Ryan Pulock. So let's simulate here. Let's see who is going to be the best team. And we'll stay just on the Montreal Canadiens for this. So we're going to go into the calendar. If I remember how to do that. Calendar, just got to press square. And we're going to simulate all the way through all of the regular season. And we'll see who leads the team or the entire NHL in scoring. Who wins Stanley Cup, etc. So let's get this simulation started. A conversation. I don't want any conversations. All right. Yeah, sure. End conversation. See you later, Martin St. Louis. We don't need any of that. Thank you very much. But we'll see how quickly the game simulates. I know notoriously NHLs are not the fastest games when it comes to the simulations here. So we're going to be following the Montreal Canadiens. I didn't even look at our team. I probably should have done that. But we know that we have Nick Suzuki. So with Nick Suzuki, we're going to be fine. First game of the regular season, we got a loss. I don't like seeing that. Kurashev on the free agency. But let's talk about NHL 26 here while we wait. NHL 26, give me your comments below. Do you like the game? Do you think it's bad? Do you think it's good? Sure, accept this trade. I don't care. I have played for an hour yet, so I don't really have an opinion on it. But it seems pretty similar. I like that they added a couple new features into the game. But again, no experience playing. I actually barely played NHL 25 as well. So definitely didn't play that one a lot. But let me know in the comments below. Do you like this game? Is it good? Would you say out of the last couple NHLs, this is the best one? I guess that's what everyone's kind of looking for. There's too many trades here. I just keep accepting them and hoping that they go away. But what I did notice is the simulation, once again, is very slow. I wish it was a lot faster. But I did say that the Anaheim Ducks, I'm saying it right now, the Anaheim Ducks are going to win the Stanley Cup, or they're going to be the President's Trophy winning team. Honestly, we're playing pretty well here. We're 10-7-2. We're going to get Cody Ceci for a 4th round pick. Sure. Whatever. Salary cap is on here. The Lightning look like they're 15-3-2. Just looking at the bottom. who are really running away with the division. The Devils 14-6-1, and we'll see if I have a game coming up against the Anaheim Ducks. We'll continue to monitor their roster as well. The Ottawa Senators 13-13, but it looks like the Tampa Bay Lightning are really just dominating this. We're going to have a game coming up against them pretty shortly here. Let's see what happens. Yeah, 21-5-4. We lose them, but that's kind of expected. I don't see Anaheim anywhere on the schedule, but I'd like to see them. But let's also talk about real life hockey here. We got Mitch Marner going to the Vegas Golden Knights. So I don't know what everyone thinks about that, but do you think Mitch Marner is going to be the way? Can he win a cup in Vegas? Essentially, is going to be the question that you're asking yourself. Was it just Toronto? Was Mitch Marner the problem? I think we're going to find out this year. I do think Mitch Marner is going to have a great season. He's going to be under a great head coach in Bruce Cassidy. So I expect good things to come from him. But another question kind of posed to you, will Mitch Marner or Austin Matthews have more points? I think both players they can get 120 points. But who is going to get more points? That's my question to you. And we're about halfway through the season. 49 games in. We are 25-19-5. The Tampa Bay Lightning look like they're still running the table right here at 33-11-5. I don't even remember who's quite on their team. Was that? No, Crosby was on Toronto. And then let's see the other teams here. I think I saw Florida was doing really well as well. Yeah, Florida 34-17-3. And it's kind of funny because I did say that Florida was not as good as they were in real life, which they aren't, let's be honest. But 29-23, 29-23-5, if I can speak any clearer. Evander Kane, welcome to the team. Sure, we're going to just keep adding everyone to our roster. Carolina, we got the Kraken. I think the Ducks are playing terrible. I think I just saw them in the standings there. But let's get to 30 wins here. There we go, 30-23-5. Let's make it in a division spot. We don't need the wild card spot. Oh, the Ducks right there. So let's see how the Ducks are playing. San Jose not doing too well. The Ducks, who I thought were going to be the best team, are not doing that good at all. I think they were 31-38 and like 4. We end up beating them. So clearly I know nothing about the simulation in NHL 26. But LA's not looking too good. We'll see if we can get a win here. Oh, the Islanders fire Patrick Waugh. RIP Patrick Waugh, 61 games in, 62. We got a nice little division matchups here. Toronto's playing atrocious. Sorry, Sidney Crosby. Ottawa, we beat them, so that's big points for the playoff position. Let's see where we're at right now. We'll be at 75 points, 77 now. We're 3 points behind the Ottawa Senators. We do lose to the Ducks there. Don't see them all year. 7-0 against Boston, who's trying to catch us. That's not good. Just keep winning out here. We want to see the team go to the playoffs. Just bring us to the playoffs. Bring us to the playoffs here. Carolina, we got a game coming up against Tampa. We'll see if they're still running the table here. Columbus. Okay, that's a couple losses in a row. That's 5 of the last 6. So let's bounce back with a win against Nashville. 6-7 of the last 8. I think we may have just fell out of a playoff spot. Okay, we do beat Tampa Bay somehow, but we need to start winning some games here. We're not in a wild card race anymore. We need to probably win 4 or 5 the last couple games. Another 2 losses here. The Montreal Canadiens just absolutely collapsing at the end of the year. My God. Another 4-game losing streak after a 7-game losing streak, basically. And there is, no chance that the Montreal Canadiens will be making the playoffs, in my opinion, here. As we, let's see. No, there's no way. 40-36-6. Yeah, the Montreal Canadiens do not make the Stanley Cup playoffs. I do see in the bottom right, though, that the Ducks did make the playoffs. I think the team to beat right now is going to be the Tampa Bay Lightning, though, seeing that they had, I think, 55 wins. They're tied 1-1 in their series with the Pittsburgh Penguins. But we're going to go through the entire kind of simulation and recap of the year once the simulation is done here. But I did predict the Anaheim Ducks, and I got to stick with it. Here we go. What do we got here? The Ducks are down 3-1 against the Edmonton Oilers. Not looking good there, I'll tell you that. But wow, the Tampa Bay gets bounced in the first round. The Edmonton Oilers, they can't do it in real life, but they can do it in the video game. The Edmonton Oilers are the Stanley Cup champions if the NHL restarted today. What an NHL 26 for a fantasy draft. Let's go take a look at all the stats and see who the Edmonton Oilers had. I don't even quite remember. But we're going to go into player stats here, and we're going to go into the entire, we'll start with the Edmonton Oilers, actually, instead of the entire league. The Edmonton Oilers, who led them to greatness? It was Jack Hughes and Brandon Hagel, Doriev, Leo Carlson. Okay, I do remember seeing that. But in the entire NHL, the leading point getter was Alexander Ovechkin, turning back time, a plus 50 with 112 points. Nathan McKinnon, Leon Draisaitl. So Nathan McKinnon. We got Austin Matthews with 59 goals. Zach Hyman had a great year, so that first line on Tampa just really lit it up. Matt Tkachuk, Gensel, Connor McDavid. Who else do we have here? Did McDavid get traded? No, he didn't get traded. I saw he only played 80 games. I was confused. Kucherov, we got Jack Hughes, Cooley, Kaprizov, Malkin has a good year, Marner 84. So a lot of players over a point per game, but it's Alexander Ovechkin leading the way. Taking a look at the awards here, so the Edmonton Oilers finally get it done. The President's Trophy goes to the Tampa Bay Lightning. The Clarence S. Campbell, obviously, to Edmonton, who they beat in Florida. So it's always Florida and Edmonton, apparently. Moving on to the individual awards. Ovi. The Norris goes to Quinn Hughes. Lady Bing goes to Nathan McKinnon. Demidov gets the Calder. Jack Hughes with the Conn Smythe, best in the playoffs. Vezina goes to Sergei Bobrovsky. And wasn't it at one point he was on Columbus? I feel like he was. I can't remember. Stolars, Brandon Carlo. The Utah Mammoth coach gets the Jack Adams. The Selke goes to Nico Hischier. Ted Lindsay once again to Alexander Ovechkin. And the Maurice Rocket Richard goes to none other than Austin Matthews. But that's what would happen if the NHL restarted with a fantasy draft. The Edmonton Oilers in Florida, they always make Stanley Cup Finals. They do it again, but this time it's the Edmonton Oilers being led by Jack Hughes and win the Stanley Cup. But that's it for this video. Tons of NHL 26 content coming down the pipeline. Also, if you like hockey, real life hockey, I play a lot of ball hockey on the channel. Check out some of those videos. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day. See you. Blah, 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 and peace.